Psalm 46:1. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Quick facts. Every year, about 1.5 million high school students in the U.S. experience physical abuse from a dating partner. 1 in 3 adolescents in the U.S. is a victim of physical, sexual, emotional, or verbal abuse from dating. A fourth of high school girls have been victims of physical or sexual abuse. Dating violence is the leading cause of injury to women. Females 16 to 24 are 4 times more likely than the general population to be victims of partner violence. 13% of teen girls report being physically hurt or hit in a relationship. More than 1 in 4 teen girls report enduring repeated verbal abuse in a relationship. Today we will discuss a story from our friend, who we will call Amanda, about a relationship she was in. Some parts of her experience may sound familiar to you if you or a friend are going through the same kind of thing. Amanda dated someone in college who was manipulative and emotionally abusive. She said he used his problems to make her feel guilty and responsible for them, and used his words to manipulate and criticize her. Amanda continues with, "At the time, I was not very good at handling the situations and manipulation. However, after much prayer, and that of my parents, I was able to understand that I was not responsible for the issues and the emotional pull he had on me. He was not what God wanted for my life, and that as soon as I could get away from him, the better my life would be." Notice that Amanda mentioned her parents helped. I just want to point out that to anyone watching this, if you're in an abusive relationship, please reach out to a parent or guardian to help you, and prayer is always helpful. Amanda writes, "For a while, I thought I could get through this and solve all these problems on my own. I thought that I was strong enough to change this person. Yet, what it did was bring me further from my faith. After time, I realized that I could never change this person and that I needed God's help to get away. I started thinking about what God wanted for my life and knew this person wasn't a part of that plan. Feeling the guilt he would try to put on me was often very hard to deal with. But with continual prayer and Bible study, I saw what I needed to do and finally became strong enough to break away. Leaning on the foundation of faith that I had been raised with helped me to turn to God when things were not good." I just want to point out that she, at first, felt like she could do this on her own. I know that it's easier to think you are strong enough to deal with this on your own, but there's nothing to be ashamed of in asking for help. Amanda says that she felt like she could handle it, and was embarrassed that she would let someone control her. She did reach out to a friend that was somewhat helpful, but she did not really think anyone could understand, because he seemed nice, and she thought she could change him. I just want to say that if you think you can change someone, you can't. Unfortunately, the person has to change themselves. If you think the reason he is hurting you is because you don't love him enough, then you would be wrong. The flaw does not lie with you, but your abuser's mind. If you feel like Amanda did, part of the reason I'm making these videos is to show you that you're not alone. There are so many people out there who are going through very similar situations, so reaching out to friends and family that you trust can help you so much. Amanda leaves with this last bit of advice. You are in no way responsible for the behavior of someone else. Even if someone tries to convince you that you're the reason for their problems, don't believe them. She wants you to remember that you're a wonderful being made in the image of God, and no one should ever lead you to believe otherwise. God is your constant and ever-present help. As young women, we must value ourselves and deem ourselves worthy of the sacrifice Christ made for us. We must pray and look to God to lead us to the people in our lives that we should be involved with, whether male or female." She closes out with, "Letting yourself love you without needing validation from someone else is huge in being able to stay away or break away from someone who is abusive. They will control you as long as they see that you perceive yourself as weak. When you look toward God and realize the strength that He has created in you, you realize you no longer need validation because God has already done that for you. The Bible reminds us in Psalm 139:14, 'I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made.' Your works are wonderful. I know that full well." If you know someone who is in an abusive relationship, there are plenty of sources and information about what to do online that I have linked below. If you are a person in an abusive relationship, please remember you're not alone and to love yourself. Finally, I leave you with this verse, Philippians 4:13. "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength."